Well, let's start with, we're going to get to the bottom of the origins of the virus. Start with Tony Fauci, because he's the guy that basically took the Wuhan virology lab behind me, gave him a bunch of money, gave him the tool to genetically engineer a deadly virus, and lo and behold, that's probably where it came from. So origins of the virus start with Tony. Now, Blink is absolutely right. We can vaccinate everybody in this country, but we're still not going to be safe if we have an open border with all those mutations that Blinken's warning us about. So, Tony, if you're really serious about this, let's talk about securing that border right now. And by the way, let's start testing the people that are coming over that border. And if they have the virus, let's figure out how to quarantine them so that they don't come up and kill us. So that's another thing. And, you know, one of the things I want to walk through just quickly, because this issue with Tony Fauci, Steve, I want to give you, we do granularity on this show. I want to give you 4 reasons why this Wuhan virology lab is likely to be where the Tony Fauci virus came from, funded by Fauci.
Sure.
Okay, let me show you something real quick here. We know that CDC Director Robert Redfield, Dr. Redfield, said, yeah, that's probably where it came from. And the buried lead on that, which a lot of people didn't get, was that he also said implicitly that it was a genetically engineered virus. But there's also the fact that Fauci buddy Peter Daszak, the guy who laundered the money into the Wuhan lab, basically bragged about genetically engineering. See how easy it was to do this. So that's number 2. So they were screwing around. They were screwing around here, to be clear, right at this lab. Peter Daszak was screwing around with genetic engineering using Fauci's gain of function. Now, the third thing's kind of interesting. This is my Occam's razor. This is the famous British philosopher who said that the simplest explanation of something is usually the most likely. So if I told you, Steve, that the only P4 weapons lab in all of Asia is located in Wuhan, and a deadly virus that's afflicting the world now showed up within a kilometer of that lab, you might jump to the reasonable Occam's razor conclusion that, yeah, that thing came from the lab. Now, the other thing here, I want to go a little new term
No,
here.
Peter. What I would think, it came from a bat cave to an unidentified pangolin 1,000 miles down on Laos, down the Burma-Laos Vietnam border.
Let me get to this. This is my number 4.
Okay.
Because this is new lingo for the chat room. Repeat after me, direct progenitor, okay? Direct progenitor. A direct progenitor is when a virus jumps from a pangolin, an animal, to a human. Now, here's what's interesting, Steve. When the first SARS virus came in 2003, it took them about a nanosecond to find a direct progenitor of that virus. And in fact, it was a couple of animals, the two of them, these 2 animals are frequently eaten at these Chinese wet markets. Like one was a raccoon and one was like a pangolin, right? So they found the direct progenitor. Okay, yeah, the wet market did it, right? Now, go to SARS-2 here, this deadly virus. It's over a year now. And scientists have looked at thousands and thousands of possibilities here. There is no direct progenitor of this virus in the animal kingdom, okay? The zoonotics not there. So that Wuhan lab theory, you can take that off the table. The only thing that's left, Steve, is this lab behind me, the house that Tony Fauci built. $7 million of your money went to fund this lab, and while they were funding the lab, Tony Fauci said, hey, go in there and genetically engineer viruses to make them deadly, more deadly, and see what you come up with. And Fauci's hubris was, in Francis Collins at the NIH, was based on the presumption, the flawed presumption that nothing ever escapes from these labs, okay? So giving you today 4 reasons why that place is where the pandemic started, and I've given you 3 reasons why Tony Fauci is part of that. QED, as they say, and that's Latin for, I don't even know what it means, but it means that's the proof.